In today's video, we will be talking about how to set up an employee for the first time using the online portal. So in this video, we will be covering different features of the online portal, how to set up an employee category, positions, departments, the grades, the leave types, different leave types, the additional information we collect about an employee, the payroll settings we kind of administer. So all these details will be covered in this particular video. So let's just jump right into it now. So once we are in the home page of the institute, all the employee details. In order to administer an employee, we need to create employee categories and the positions, the departments they will be joining. So all this comes under the menu and human resources. So human resources, the ones who manage all the employee details. So if we go under HR settings, we can actually see different functionalities within the HR, or which different functions that the HR provides. The first one we're going to talk about is creating an employee category. So an institute, like everyone knows, will not just be teachers. There will be different people working under one roof. There will be management staff, there will be trustees, there will be volunteers. So anyone, how are we going to separate them is based on their categories. So we can name a category, we can identify them using a prefix, and we can create them, and it will be coming under the active category here. So we can edit or delete an active category anytime. We can add no categories based on the institutional needs. So once an employee category is created, we have to create an employee position. So if we go back to the HR settings, we are gonna create an employee position. So so the employee position is the title they hold. There will be different active positions within the institute. There will be head of departments, there will be English teachers, the computer teachers. So we create the name of the position they hold. We select what particular category they will be working under. So a chemistry teacher, for example, will be working under teaching staff. So so when we select the particular name of the position and select the employee category, it will come under the active position. So we can edit or delete the active position based on the institution's need. So that is how we create an employee position. So the next important feature of the HR settings is to create and manage employee departments. So like everyone knows, an employee will be divided based on the category, the position, but in order to identify them easily, we will divide them based on departments as well. So there will be people who working under human resources. All together they will be working under human resources. There will be people who will be working for accountings, the administration team. There will be primary teachers who will be teaching the primary school. There will be system admins who look after the online presence and everything. So we create the employee department based on the institutional need. We make code for it, and we create them, and it will come under the active department, and we can edit or delete them anytime based on what the institution need. So that comes under the HR settings, as called as employee creation of employee department. The next great feature within HR settings is to create an employee grade. Employee grade basically is about the priority of an employee. So there will be different employees working under the institute. There might be senior teachers, there might be junior teachers. So we create based on the priority, we give name of the employee grade. For example, level 1. We will set up the priority level. So priority level 1, which is very high, we just put in a number of hours per day they work. So usually the people with the high priority might work more. So we created the priority, the maximum periods per day, maximum periods per week, and if we create them, this will be added into the active grade. So we are creating an employee grade, and we are separating them based on the priority of their work. So that is what employee grade does. So once an employee grade is created, the next logical thing to do is to understand how many working days there will be. So working day settings allow us to it's basically telling us like how many working days there will be based on the months. So for an institute, there will be divided into 12 months. For example, a month of December there might be holidays coming in, there might be bank holidays. So the 31 working days might not be the same. So we can be like, say for example, 20. So we can divide them based on the individual month. We can update it, and we can save them based on the institute's calendar, how they're going to schedule it. We can do it weekly, bi-weekly, semi-monthly, and we can change the number of working days. So that is basically the working day settings under the HR settings does. So once an employee is created, once an employee category is created, the position is created, the department is created, and the grade is created, the next step is to understand the leaves that employee is applicable for. So we create different leaves. It might be annual leave, there might be sick leaves, paternity leaves. So we are creating all the leave types that is eligible for an institute or eligible for an employee. We can add in new leave types. We can create the name of the leave type, the code associated with the leave type, the how many leave counts, is the number of leaves that is eligible for them to take. We can set up where the date in which it's valid from, or the academic year. Is it like a carry forward leave, or is it like discard the leave balance, or is it like liable from the salary? So once we created, all the active leave types will come under the leave type. So employees who was working under the institute are eligible for or these different leave types based upon their priority and their eligibility. So once a leave type is created, in order to make it pretty easy to divide the employees, we create a leave group as well. So what does leave group does is basically divide employees based on their priority. So there might be senior people working under the institute who is eligible to take more leaves. So we create leave groups, we give them name, we create a description of the leave groups. So junior, if all the junior employees within the institute comes under leave group called junior, for example, and we can add employees into that junior group. We can select what kind of department they are from. For example, primary teachers. We can select all the primary teachers who's eligible for that particular leave groups. We can add employees to that leave groups. So if by adding employees as well, all the employees that is added will be coming under the leave group called junior. So once an employee is added, we can also add the manage leave types. So a junior employee within an institute might not be eligible to take sick leaves, or they might be only eligible for an annual leave of 28. Um, so the different leave groups will be eligible for different leave types. So we can add the eligible leave types to a group. So we can see the number of counts of leaves they are eligible for that particular leave groups. That is what leave groups does. So once a leave group is created, we have to collect the next logical thing to do in setting up an employee profile is to collect the financial details of an employee. It might be bank details. So we create the necessary information we need in order to process a financial transaction. So we collect we can make in active names or the active or necessary field we require in order to process the transactions, so such as a call number, bag number, sort code. If we need an additional bank details such as bank address, we can create it, and this will come under the active bank fields. So this is basically the financial information of an employee. So once a bank details is created, we can get additional details. So additional details is anything additional an institution need when an employee is setting up it. So the additional details can be different from different institute. One institute might require additional details or details of information such as next to kin or emergency contact. So we can create additional fields within the employee admission time. And is it a mandatory field? And once an additional details, or when we in this way we can collect additional details about an employee. So by now we have already created the employee categories, the position, departments, the leave groups, the financial details, and the next big step is the payroll setting. So how we are gonna be calculating the payroll. So payroll settings. There's a predefined setting in the online portal, which basically allow us to configure the payroll based on the individual institutional preference. So based on the gross pay, the payroll category can be formulated and computed. That is what payroll setting does. There's a custom mode as well. So it differs from one institute to another. So the custom mode can be anything need to be added. We can use the custom mode in order to do that. So there are other options such as round net payoff, round type, how much is the rounding figure, and all this stuff. So all these related information about payrolls can be seen under the functionality called payroll settings. So that is what payroll settings does. So by now we have already set up all the additional information in order to process an employee. So once all this is set up, we now go and the HR human resources and started managing the employee or adding in an employee. So in this process, we are gonna admit a new employee. So this basically allow us to administer or allow us to gather as much as information about an employee, such as employee number. So we can assign an employee number to the employee. Can see what's the joining date, what's the name of the employee. the middle name, the last name, the date of birth of the particular employee, the departments they will be under. So there's different departments within the college or the school. So where will be they working under, the categories under that particular departments. So so they will be like teaching staff. Position they will be holding will be like a placement teacher. So we can assign different department categories, positions on the time of admission. So once we have all this informations, we collect additional information such as home address, office address, banking details, and next of kin, anything of such that the institution required in order to process an employee successfully. So once every information is collected, an administrator can now set privileges for that particular employee. So we can see different privileges listed up in here. So usually all the academical privileges are given to the academics or the teachers, so such as examination control, enter marks, view results, managing timetables. So any additional privileges they require can be added up during the time of their admission. So once we set up the privilege of that particular employee, their profile, we can even select a manager in which the employee will be working under. We can select the manager based on the department, the category, the position, and once a manager is finalized, and once a payroll group is added, they will be asking. So there will be additional details such as payroll group in which the employee should be added to, the leave group in which the employee should be added to. And once every information is collected, there will be like an active profile of an employee that is created. So we can see all the information of the employee here. We can add more information using these tabs. We can see the salary, payroll, and payroll slips, the leaves they are eligible for, and we can even delete the employee profile if they are no longer working here. So that is what employee management does. So we will be so we have in this particular video have talked in depth about how an employee profile is created, what are all necessary informations we require. So we will be talking about how to do the bulk admission in a later video. So I hope everyone, I hope this video is helpful for everyone. Thank you.